Hey guys, so my name's Jimmy, and Brian asked me to come out here to talk to you about what I do. Well, um, I'm not one who's like all that big on titles, but I'm his internal creative director, man. So, what does that mean, you might be asking? What is an internal creative director? So, since Brian was little, he was doing stuff, creating stuff and everything and all. And I would see it go by through his stream of consciousness, and some of it would stick in his memory. So, the thing is, I would go down to memory lane where there's a pond, and I'd go and start fishing them out and stuff. A lot of times I was just laying them down on the ground. Other times I throw them back and stuff like that. But eventually, like, I got to meeting some other guys inside his head. Like, there's Blaine the Builder. And Blaine, he just built stuff. So he built this warehouse, and it has all these rooms and filing cabinets and mason jars. And so what I started doing was I would go get the mason jars and I put the ideas in there. And I put them up in the filing cabinets, sit them on shelves inside the warehouse. That way, when it's time, I can go get the right mason jar so that we can work on an idea and make something. So he did this with music and just drawing random things and stuff. But eventually, when he started writing stories, it got really convoluted. So, make a long story short, I had all these ideas everywhere, and I eventually started organizing them into rooms. Like for his first book, it's called Infernal Fall. I had all the ideas for this book in one room. Like in the filing cabinet, I had all the characters in one filing cabinet. Like there'd be one for their primary characters, like Heartless Charles, Daniel, and Bo. And there would be secondary characters for the Greek characters that came out of those myths that Dante used in Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. And then there would be just other characters, other secondary characters. So I had those in the filing cabinet. I had different scenes in different filing cabinets along with the setting, because scenes, there's a lot of settings that go into it, and the characters, the scenes, the setting, different literary devices, all that. I would put it on a table and I'd have an empty mason jar. So I'd pour these different things into that mason jar that was empty until it was full. And when it was no longer foggy and it's clear, that would be a brand new finished mason jar. And that would actually end up being a chapter in Infernal Fall. So I would put this brand new chapter in a new filing cabinet, and I would put all the other ideas back and use them for the next scene or next chapter, whatever was coming up. And so that's how I do it, man. I did that for the entire Infernal Fall series. I kind of try to help him with promotions too, like when it comes to dialing up some kind of image for like Instagram or Facebook. He doesn't do much of that. He's kind of lazy. He's a laid back guy, He's easy going. He's kind of like me, which is kind of cool. We get along well. Unlike the other guys in here who are like really eccentric, like Eddie, the editor. That guy is such a spaz. I mean, he just needs to settle down a little bit, Then there's Marvin, who's our motivator, and he's like always like, go, 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 do this, do that. You got to get it done, and he's really nice about it and all. But, sometimes you just got to chill, Marvin, okay? It's just not cool to always be pushy. But another guy as well is Flavorist. Flavorist is this other creative that's in here who's always coming up with things. And him and Eddie are always butting heads because Flavorist wants to add all kinds of things to the story. He wants to put in more adjectives and adverbs. He comes up with random songs and he just starts singing out of nowhere all the time, and it's just kind of annoying is one way I would say it. I mean, it's okay in little doses, I guess, but when you're around it 24/7, it's kind of like, stop, Flavors. I mean, you can kind of get the idea of who he is and what he's like with his name. I mean, he made up his name Flavors. I mean, it kind of sounds like an adjective. I don't know. Eddie says it's not even a word. So the thing is Flavor says it doesn't have to be a word. It's my name, man. So those two are always going at it. Marvin's always pushing us and stuff. And Blaine, he just builds all the time. So here I am, hanging around the warehouse, organizing ideas, trying to keep things straight, and just making the magic happen. But anyways, that's what I do. If you have any questions or anything, I mean, shoot them over to Brian. He'll ask me. I'll answer them. It's all good. But anyways, until next time, take care, man.